Hey everybody, good to see you. We were in the third week of our new series called Good News for Anxious Christians, and our proposal for something that you don't have to do this week was you don't have to change the world. Our main text was 1 Thessalonians 4, 9 through 12. It has, over the last couple of years, become one of my favorite texts in the whole Bible, and so take some time to read that as a group, as the Apostle Paul writing to the church at Thessalonica. Two big ideas. The first one is that modern people have developed what I would call a guilt and anxiety complex about changing the world, where, from all sorts of different ways we get this message that we're supposed to change the world. We are responsible for changing the world. So we feel very guilty and anxious about it. Big idea number two was that your responsibility to the world is not to change the world, but rather your primary responsibility to the world is to just try to be a good neighbor. So question one, what was most interesting or encouraging to you? Question number two, what was most challenging? What raised questions for you? What did you not understand? What did you not agree with? And it's fine. I say things I don't agree with all the time in retrospect, and so it's fine if you didn't agree with everything. Question three, what is potentially good, or at least well-intentioned, in this new responsibility for the world that our culture tends to really feel? There's a lot that's bad in it, but what's potentially well-intentioned in it? Question four, why do you think that Paul, who is one of the most world-changing people to ever lived, thought it was important to tell us that we need to learn how to live quiet lives? Why do you think Paul thought that was important advice to give us, from the Lord? Question five, how do we live lives that are quiet but not irresponsibly insulated? And that's that tension at the heart of kind of the Christian mission in the world. We're supposed to live quiet lives, and yet we also don't want to be irresponsibly insulated and too quietistic, if that makes sense. And so, how do we walk that tension well? Our action step was to love your neighbor. I mentioned something called the Neighbor Challenge, which is this really simple thing that we challenge all our members and regular attenders to do, where you get this little graph and it's got a place for you to write the names of your 9 closest neighbors. And so the challenge is, A, that you know the names of your 9 closest neighbors, and then that you have had a conversation with them and you know some stuff about them, what they do for a living, whatever. And then finally that you have had extended conversations with them, that you've had them over to your house for dinner or something like that. Because again, that's your primary responsibility to the world, is to be a good neighbor. So I hope you're enjoying the series. We've got one more week of it next week, and I'll see you guys and girls on Sunday.